My name is Emily, and I'm a male to female transgender. I'm gonna do a video on what it's like. I started one video previously, and it kind of got cut off. So I'm just trying to continue on from where I was in that video. I've been transitioning now for approximately 2.5 years. And I'm on YouTube quite a bit. I have my own channel, and I'm also watching a lot of T-girls and their channels, and I learn a lot. And I think it's pretty cool that there are so many in the community that post videos. I've learned so much from other trans girls, and I want to look and be as beautiful as they are. I still have a lot of work to do. Currently doing all the things that most transgender girls do. Doing electrolysis, taking female hormones and testosterone blocker. I take estradiol, which is a form of estrogen. I take spironolactone, which is a testosterone blocker. I'm taking voice lessons to help with my voice development, to make it more feminine and not as male as it sounds right now. It takes a lot of time. I've even watched a lot of YouTube videos on voice and how you train your voice, and I've tried to exercise the way the girls have presented their videos. Unfortunately, I don't find it all that easy to do, and I know that they say it's a very challenging thing to do, so I'm approaching it with optimism, but realizing that it's going to take time. When I last left off in my previous video, I was trying to make a point that I realized I was much more than just a cross-dresser. I realized in my mind, heart, and soul that I was a trans woman, a transgender individual. I would love to do everything possible, except it's very unlikely because of the financial aspects. I'm trying to save to do surgery. I would love to in a heartbeat. But, I have to make do with what I can right now. So right now, basically, I'm focusing on the things that I can do. And I've been presenting and doing pretty good in public. Not working right now, so that makes things a little more difficult for me. I find that working gives you a sense of purpose, and it also helps you in your self-confidence. And in transitioning, I'm gonna try to do more videos on a regular basis, and also if people are drawn to my videos, which I hope will happen eventually, that they leave comments, kind comments, and also can ask me questions. I'll certainly answer any questions that you may have as to what it's like to be a male to female transgender, or what the process of transitioning is like. For me, I've known all my life basically the issues that I would face, and I wanted to transition many times in my life, as young as 16 years old, and I never really had the chance to transition at earlier ages for many reasons. Plus, I wasn't emotionally ready. It's a long process, and it's very expensive, and there are a lot of trans girls that spend a lot of money in their process to transition, and God bless them, I admire them, but unfortunately I'm not in that kind of a position to do that. as much as I would love to have surgeries, I would love to have vocal feminization surgery if I could. That's very expensive. Breast augmentation if I could, but that's expensive. Um, and most obviously the gender reassignment surgery, which could cost upwards of $25,000. So, there are other avenues to take to do the surgery. You could obviously seek out a surgeon or a clinic in Thailand. They do surgeries, or other foreign countries, but that's still expensive, even though it's a lot less expensive than in the United States. Um, I don't know personally if surgery is all that necessary. For me personally, I'm older, so for me, I don't foresee it as an obstacle. As much as I would love to have it, I don't think it's going to change how I am as a person and how I'm going to present. Surely I'm going to live as a woman, as I've always felt inside, and I'm going to present that way because that's who I am. I'm a girl. I've always known that. I've always been drawn to female clothing and fashion. I was very good in school. I studied hard, but I never really tried to accentuate those traits that I really wanted to be part of my life. I would much have enjoyed studying fashion design or photography, but I went for like the traditional things like engineering and accounting. But I really feel that for a trans girl growing up, if they live in a household where they feel uncomfortable with who they are because of the awkwardness and the fear of coming out, they really hide all of those feelings. They suppress them, and they don't allow that aspect of creativity to come out. So they kind of stifle themselves, and that's quite sad, because there's nothing wrong with expressing yourself. And if you're feminine and you desire to express that as part of your personality, I think that's a wonderful thing. But for me, I was afraid. So I kind of lived in my own shadows, and I never really opened up or expressed that aspect of my life. And as much as I would have liked to have, I just was afraid to. I didn't want to be made fun of. I didn't want people to judge me in an unfair way. I just thought, I tried to do the right things, I tried to live and be, as much as I thought it was very difficult, I tried to live a male life and to be content with that. It's hard. It's very hard when you know in your heart and mind and soul that you're a girl and you'd rather live that way and be true to that. Not many people could understand what I went through as a young kid and how I truly felt inside. And I cried a lot. I cried many days. I used to go to sleep in one of my sister's dresses, and I just felt so happy when I could dress up and express that aspect of me and who I was. It just made me feel right inside. And nobody knows why people have these feelings. As I mentioned previously, These are feelings that are innately part of you, and it's definitely something that you're born with, and you have to learn to accept that and appreciate it. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I love to wear floral print dresses, you know. This is what I like to wear. This is how I like to express myself. You know, I love shoes. These are my kind of shoes that I like. I've always wanted to wear women's shoes and be feminine. These are beautiful shoes. I usually wear flats. Heels are a little hard to walk in, but I just love them. You know, they're me. They're who I am. And this is like one of my favorite shoes with the little straps. But, you know, it's nice to be feminine. And here, whoa, I'm gonna fall. Here's another pair of shoes I like. They're all pretty similar. But, you know, shoes are shoes, and girls always love to wear shoes. As you can see, I have like a movie collection here. I'm gonna watch this movie. It's Emily, or Emily. That's the name that I've chosen, but I spell it differently. I'm working on my legal name change. I think hopefully after the holidays I'll be able to take care of all that. I'm seeing my therapist and doctor coming up this week. I'm going to get my blood levels checked out for my levels of testosterone and estrogen. Excuse me. But yeah, I've always felt like I should have been a girl and lived that way. And, you know, even though I tried to live in the male role, I knew it wasn't right for me. But I tried, you know, I tried really hard, and I thought, you know, if I did all the things that you're supposed to do, that things would just work out. And, you know, I don't feel I lost out as being male. I think it's okay. Certainly I'm happy I have a son, and I am married still, although my wife struggles with my situation and she doesn't like it. But I'm not going to stop who I am as a person. I have to live my life the way I feel comfortable. And I've always felt that I should have been a girl. You know, dressing up for me is very important, and it's part of my healthy outlook on things. I have to live and be who I truly feel inside. I can't not be that. I can't go on with pretending anymore. It's not healthy. You know, I've tried to commit suicide. I tried many times. I tried as a 16-year-old. I tried in my 20s. I tried even after being a father and a husband, which I don't feel so good about. But the pain is real, and no matter what you do, that pain doesn't go away. And, you know, that's why I had to seek out therapy. I had to go to a doctor. I wanted to make sure that I'm doing the right things. And being on hormones is very important in transitioning. Dressing up is very important in transitioning. Doing the electrolysis or laser. I personally do electrolysis because I want to try to have my hair removed permanently. It's a very arduous process. It's not painful. There are a lot of people that are afraid to do it because they think it's painful, but it's not painful at all. Actually, I find it therapeutic, but it is expensive. I'm taking voice lessons, which is expensive, but I feel I have no choice. For me to really have more self-confidence, I want to be able to talk as a woman and sound more like a woman when I speak. I don't have that feminine voice. I'm working on it, and I'm sure people are turned off to my videos because of my voice, but I can't help that. That's just how I talk. But hopefully I'll get there, you know. It takes practice, a lot of practice, and it's something worthwhile. I'm looking at making progress with that, and hopefully in a month or two it'll be, I don't think it's going to be that soon, but hopefully I'll get there. It'll take time and practice, obviously. Hormones, I've been on hormones for about 2.5 years, and I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos for male to female trans girls, and a lot of them seem to notice changes, very significant changes in a short span of time. For me, I don't know if it's because of my age, but really the only real changes that I've noticed certainly is that my skin has become much softer, and that's a combination of the estradiol and the electrolysis. And also, I have slight breast development, so I do have small boobies, but you know, I don't have the money to do breast augmentation, so I have to be comfortable with my small boobies. Hopefully they'll grow a little more, but I do fit an A cup, which is okay with me. You know, I just want to be able to feel feminine, and having some breast development makes me feel good. And you know, there are some girls that are born just with small chests, so you know, I think I'm okay in that area. I'm not looking to be like Marilyn Monroe with big breasts, but if you ask many T-girls, they would love to have nice sized breasts. Certainly I would if I could. But you deal with what you can, and you accept that, and you just go with the punches, you know, you roll with the punches, and just make the best of the situation. I would like to be able to go out more socially. I certainly would like to be back working again. I'm on disability currently. I haven't worked in quite a while, and I know I'm very capable of working. Certainly I'm not going to go back to work as a male. I'm going to definitely work as a female. So when I go out and interview, I'm just going to be Emily. That's who I am. And I'm not ashamed of that. Actually, I'm quite proud. I have to work on my voice. That's a big issue. Trying to save up for the gender reassignment surgery. That's something that I really would like to do. You know, I'm also very aware that I have a son, and I want to preserve that relationship with him and be there for him. I'm still his father. I'll always be his father no matter what. I learn a lot from YouTube. I like to watch the transition timeline videos. I wish I could do videos like that, but I just don't have the pictures of my early childhood, really. I lost a whole bunch of pictures when we moved, and I really feel upset about that, because that would have been a great source for doing a timeline video. Unfortunately, I lost those pictures, so I don't have them to reflect upon. But, you know, I'm doing all I can as a trans woman. I'm an advocate, quiet advocate, and I feel, you know, blessed that I'm able to transition and do what I have to. It's something I knew I would face at some point in my life, and you know, it just feels right for me. I know I'm doing the right thing. I've questioned it. I had lost a lot of sleep over making this decision, and being older doesn't make it easier. but it does make you realize that as you get older, that you're gonna face those questions no matter what. They won't go away. Being transgender means a lifetime of that. It's a struggle throughout your whole life, basically. And I have come to terms with that. I've always knew in my heart that I was different, and I tried to accept my situation as best I could, and tried to live knowing that I was in pain, and it hurt. It really was something that I struggled with for a long time, and I wish if I could have changed that. I don't think I would have changed. I think I've accepted my situation, and I just have come to terms knowing that I'm a male to female transgender woman, and that's who I am, and I'm not gonna feel guilty about that. I'm not gonna feel shame. There's no reason to. Excuse me, I'm just picking my lip. It's a pain, but I got skin loose, and I don't want to gross anybody out. It's just bothering me. But I think it's nice to be upfront and honest with people. Certainly when you come out and you express your true feelings with others, family and friends, it's kind of a relief. You feel like a huge burden is lifted. Certainly you don't want to carry that burden with you all your life. It's not fair, and nobody certainly would want to do that. If I could have transitioned younger, would I? Quite possibly I would. Like I said, I really had wanted to transition as early as 16, and then in college I wanted to, then in my 20s. So, it was all throughout my life that I wanted to transition and feel free and do that. I think an ideal age for somebody who transitions, who doesn't feel the need to marry and have a family, is probably around middle 20s. I think that's like a very good age to transition. If you transition in your middle 20s and you're not upset with the prospects of having your own children, I think that's a good age. I think I even had thoughts of doing that myself personally, but it wasn't meant to be at that time for me. Plus I was caught up with working. I had graduated with my college degree, and started working. I was still living at home, so that was forbidden to even think about transitioning. Plus I had to try to be very careful, because my parents both suffered with depression, and they were in and out of hospitals, so I couldn't be honest with them, and I didn't want to make their depression worse. So I kind of held my feelings inside and was not really open about how I truly felt. I couldn't tell anybody. I kind of just tried to deal with it on my own terms and do the best I could. But, it's not an easy situation when you know in your heart that you're somebody that nobody really knows. I think that's one of the hardest things of being transgender, is you're not really presenting who you truly are in the initial stages, in the denial stage, where you're hiding who you really are. But when you come to terms and accept who you are and you do present, it's a dramatic turnaround for you. The difference is amazing. How you feel inside, how you project yourself, and how you present. You just feel more happier and content, and everything seems to be much more happier for you. You know, it's a wonderful joy when you can truly be the person who you feel inside. And when people accept that, it's great. You know, you're not going to have that always. Not everybody's going to accept you. But those who do accept you, you really have to be grateful for that, because they're special. And you need people like that in your life, because going through transgender issues and transition issues is a very difficult process, and could be very depressing at times. You're going to have ups and downs along the way, and many dramatic changes are going to take place. You're going to be taking risks, and your life is going to change. You know, you're going to be presenting differently. You're going to, you know, have times where you kind of wonder if you're doing the right thing. But when you soul search and you realize that this is the right avenue to take, then you just go forward and you do what's necessary to make you happy. And you'll realize that it is the right thing. And nobody can make you feel bad about that. You know, you just do what's right for you, and you don't let others tell you that you're doing something that is not tolerated. Do it at your own pace and be happy with who you are. Never feel ashamed. You should always be content. You know, I want to learn to do makeup. I want to learn how to enhance my breast size. You know, push-up bras look good. The only thing is I go to Victoria's Secret and I look at bras. I like them, but they're so expensive. Sears has good buys on bras, and I also love to buy dresses. Dresses are like my favorite. I have so many dresses, and I like to just go out dressed like that all the time if I could. I don't know. I'm gonna try to do casual look as a girl, but I don't know. I've never really been into the jeans look, but you know, a nice pair of trousers and blouse, I guess, would be nice, or a business suit. But dresses are definitely my favorite. I always loved a beautiful dress, and wearing that in public. I just feel very feminine, and I just love the way I look. You know, when I'm out in public, I think I present well enough to pass. My hair obviously is short. The cap helps me. I like wearing hats. This is actually my very first hat that I wear. That's not a baseball hat. LOL. I always wore a baseball hat as a guy. But I love this hat. I fell in love with it. I bought it at Target. And it's just